Hello, Central Yellow Jackets. It's me, Mrs. Jones, your mental health practitioner. Today is our last day of NTI and the last day of school. It is so hard to believe that it is our last day of school and that we have completed a very challenging school year with many, obstacles and shortcomings, and I'm sure disappointments for many people, not just our seniors, obviously. There was some challenges for sure, but also for our other students and their families. And so I hope this video, first of all, finds your family and you healthy and safe, because that's very important. I'm hoping that we'll continue to follow the guidelines for social distancing and for washing our hands and for just being kind to each other. Today, I thought as we wrap up the school year, I wanted to remind you about self-care. And self-care comes in many forms. It doesn't mean a day at the spa. It could just mean that you are allowing yourself to be present with yourself, to be mindful, paying attention to your body, what your body needs. And that sometimes could be rest. That sometimes could be a walk. That sometimes could be your favorite food. That sometimes could be checking in with a close friend or loved one. So I wanted to make sure that you were minding yourself, minding your body, which is very important. Also, I wanted to share with you some resources this summer that you might want to check out that may help you, that may aid in being the best version of yourself and helping to enhance your mental health. So I have some books with me that I want to share with you that have been very helpful to me that I wanted to share with you. The first one I have is this book, Shook One, by Charlamagne Tha God, that deals with anxiety and stress from the perspective of Charlamagne, shares his own stories as well as other celebrities share their antidotes and their experiences in dealing with anxiety and other mental health issues. So this is something you might want to check out and see for yourself what you think. There's a fictional book called 72-Hour Hold by Bebe Campbell. This deals with 72-hour hold is a term used when there is a required stay in an inpatient facility for mental health issues. And in this story, a woman talks about the experience that she had with her teenage daughter experiencing some mental health issues and requiring some inpatient stay. So it's very insightful. It challenges some of those myths we have about African Americans and mental health, and it sort of sheds a light on what families experience when you have a loved one who is struggling with some mental health issues. So it's fictional, but it's based on some real life events. So I invite you to check this one out, Bebe Campbell, 72-Hour Hold. One of my favorites that I refer to a lot is the book called The Body Keeps the Score by Van der Hulk. This book is important because it talks about how trauma impacts the body. And so think about it this way: when we have a traumatic event, our body takes a photo, makes an imprint of that event, and our body sort of remembers that. And there are times when we may be experiencing a similar incident that reminds us, that triggers that traumatic event, and we may have the same response we had from that traumatic event. And that event could have occurred months ago, years ago, but our body keeps the score of what that feels like. And so this teaches us ways to understand what's happening when our body is giving us those messages. Maybe, smells, taste, sound, certain locations trigger us. And so this helps you understand what that means and find ways to cope with those very hard triggers that come from traumatic events. And then the final book is just maybe a little more fun, but it's called Tender-Headed. And so lots of times in our community, we struggle with issues related to hair. We've seen articles about, schools or even employers banning certain hairstyles. And so this book called Tender-Headed kind of explores different true stories that African Americans have experienced as it relates to their hair. So it's just sort of a fun book, but also I think it's important for our mental health because it taps into our self-image of ourselves and how we see ourselves. And it's important to know that we're not isolated when we have these feelings about just how we show up in the world and our self-image. And so this book might be helpful with that. So in closing, I want to let you know that I miss you all tremendously. I hope you have a wonderful summer. I cannot wait to catch up. Please take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, practice self-care, and consider reading some of those books I mentioned. Until next time, bye-bye.